So now let's move on to your next topic under your third chapter, that is fourth chapter, that is your corporate meeting. Okay. Now statutory meeting. What is statutory? Statutory, as you all know, it is compulsory, right? Statutory meeting, as per section 165 of the Companies Act, it lays down that every limited by shares and every limited company, okay, every company which is limited by shares and every company which is limited by guarantee, wherein and having the capital, they must have a whole necessary general meetings for a period of 6 months, but not earlier than 6 months. Okay. But whatever date is being fixed, they should hold a meeting on that particular date. Okay. Only the company which has necessary amount of capital, a company which is limited by shares and the company which is limited by guarantee, they should hold an annual general meeting which is compulsory for them within 6 months of commencement of that particular meeting of the particular business. Okay. Now the date on which the date has to be fixed, on that particular date a meeting has to be conducted, and it should not be conducted before 6 months. Such as the first general meeting is also called as the statutory meeting. The first meeting, the compulsory meeting which is conducted, is called as the statutory meeting. It is only held once in a lifetime of the company. It is also the first general meeting of the shareholders of the company. Private companies are exempted from holding this meeting. Okay, this is the first meeting of the company and it is the compulsory meeting of the company, and it is held only once in a lifetime of the company. But private companies are exempted from holding this particular meeting. It's only the public companies which are obligated to conduct and attend this particular meeting. Okay. In this meeting, for the first time, all the shareholders, directors, everyone meet and get to know each other. Okay. Next is the object and purpose of holding a statutory meeting. Object and purpose, the main object and purpose is basically nothing but to report, okay, to give, to tell who belongs to which position, that is the top management, low level management and middle level management, to know how the company is working, to know what is the objective and to know what is the objective of the company, to know what is the goals of the company, to know how the company is performing, to know what is the, who are the shareholders, debenture holders, preference shareholders, equity shareholders, and all the contract and details will be given in this particular object and purpose. Next is the provision of the Companies Act. As per the provision of Companies Act, under statutory meeting, every company which is limited by shares and every company which is limited by guarantee, which is having necessary amount of share capital, should hold a meeting not less should hold a meeting within a period of 6 months and based on the date which has been fixed for the commencement of the business. Okay, the board of directors must send notice to all meeting and shareholders of the company at least 21 days before. Suppose you are holding a meeting on 25th February, before 25th February arises, 21 days prior the notice has to be sent. Okay, and everyone must take the notice and must attend the particular meeting. This is known as the statutory report. Okay, a report must be prepared for every notice which is sent. Okay, immediately after sending the copies to the statutory reports to the members, a certified copy of the same must be filled with the register. Okay, now suppose you're setting invitations, the same invitations must be recorded and it should be submitted and filled with the certificate of the registrar. Next is, at the statutory meeting, the board must place a list showing the names, addresses and occupation of the members and the number of shares which are held by them. Okay, suppose there are various shareholders, as I told you all of those names and the list of the shares, etc., the share members, etc., will have to be submitted, and it should be noted down effectively. Now, during the continuance of the meeting, the list shall remain open for the inspection by the members. Okay, you can continuously inspect the meeting of the members and you can check who are the members who are responsible for each and every share. Next is at the meeting, the members shall have the right to discuss any matter relating to the formation of the company or arising of the statutory report. Okay, every member has the right to speak and every member has the right to speak in the particular topic which is being discussed. Now, in case of default in me holding the meeting or submitting the report, the director or other officers of the company in default are liable to a fine and pay fine to the court on order of the winding up of the company. Suppose if you're not able to conduct the annual meeting, suppose if you're not able to write down everything that has been given in the meeting, and if you're not able to file a report and submit it to the register, then the company during the time of winding up has to pay a fine of 500 rupees to the court during the time of winding up. Now, next one is notice of meeting. As we all looked into the earlier meeting, a notice has to be submitted 21 days prior. and you should give them meeting IDs. Okay, every person who's been who's given permission to attend the meeting and who has given the meeting ID must be given, and also the people who are entitled to vote, and also proxy should be appointed effectively. Next is the statutory report. Now statutory report is a compulsory report which is written document. Okay, it is a written document which needs to be submitted to the registrar based on whatever the minutes of the meeting, whatever is being discussed in the meeting, everything has to be written down and submitted. Okay, now statutory report will contain the necessary information. This is the information that the statutory report consists of. Firstly is the number of shares allotted which are fully paid or partly paid. Okay, what is the amount of shares which are allotted and whether the shares are fully paid or partly paid. Number of shares allotted for consideration other than cash. Okay, and the consideration thereof. The consideration is the amount of money, the total amount of cash which is received in respect of shares allotted, an abstract of receipts and payments of the company up to date within 7 days of the date of report. Okay, next is the name and address and occupation of directors, auditors, managing directors or manager and secretary, estimated amount of preliminary expenses, particulars of any commission or discount paid to be paid on the issue of shares and debentures, the particulars of any contract to be modified at the meeting, the extent to which underwriting contracts, if any, have not been carried out at the reason for the same, the arrears, if any, due on calls from directors, managing director or managers, the amount of commission and the brokerage paid or to be paid in connection with issue of salaries or shares of any directors of managers. All of this information will be recorded in your statutory report. You have to by heart all of this. It has to be mentioned effectively in the statutory report. Okay, all of these details should be mentioned in the statutory report. It is compulsory as per law. Next is the rights of members relating to the statutory meeting. Now, rights of members relating to the statutory meeting is basically what are the rights. First right is to discuss the matter. Right to discuss the matter relating to the formation of company or arising out of the statutory report. Okay, the right of the matter, whatever the right is, they have to discuss. Next is, as per the Companies Act, the directors of the company should prepare list showing the names, address, occupation of members and the number of shareholders who are keeping in production based on the thing, and they have the right to inspect the members each and every time. Okay, whether they have paid for the shares, whether they have not paid for the share, who are the shareholders, they have the right to inspect. Next is, if the company makes default in holding the statutory meeting or on issuing the shares, filling the statutory report, the members have the right to file petition in the court compulsory winding up of the company. During the winding up of the company, the members have the right to file a petition if the people are carrying out negligence purposely. Okay, so these are the rights of the members to statutory meeting. Okay, these are the 3 most important rights. Now next is what is the procedure for holding the meeting. Now, procedure for holding a meeting. Okay, the procedure for holding a meeting. First is the secretary should prepare a draft. Okay, they should prepare a draft of the statutory report and the notice of the meeting. Okay, and the notice of the meeting in consultation with the directors and give them the approved board meeting convened for this purpose. The secretary has a right to prepare the draft of the statutory report, how they have to carry out the meeting, what are the things that need to be discussed, what is the time that the meeting will start. All of this they have to prepare and submit it to in consultation with the directors. They should take necessary opinions from the directors and prepare. Okay. Next is the arrangement should be made. Okay, to get the report certified by at least 2 directors, one from whom should be the managing directors. Okay, then he should, after preparing the reports, he should get it certified from 2 directors, and one amongst the directors should be a managing director. Next is the arrangement should be made to get the auditor certificate as to the correctness of shares allotted by the receipts and payments of cash. Okay, the notice and report must be printed and sent to every member at least 21 days before the meeting. As we all discussed earlier, before 21 days everyone has to be informed about the meeting. Then to file the certified copy of statutory report with the registrar. Statutory report, again the written document containing all of this information, it has to be filed with the registrar. Okay, to prepare a detailed agenda for the meeting in consultation with the chairman as to what needs to be discussed, which considers the name, address, occupation of members, the shareholders and the purpose for producing it at the meeting. Okay, After which, to make necessary arrangements for holding the meeting, to ascertain the quorum of meeting, who will be present and how many members will be present in the particular meeting and who are given permission to attend the meeting. Okay, then to produce a list of members at the meeting that is kept open for inspection during the time of continuance of the meeting. Then the chairman will explain to members the purpose of the meeting and the current position. He will explain what is the purpose of the meeting and what is the current position, and invites discussion and questions on statutory report and other matters relating to the formation of company. Okay, whatever the matters that are relating to the formation of the company, everything will be discussed effectively and appropriately at the meeting. Next is, during the meeting, the resolutions, if any, may be moved and discussed. Okay, if any resolutions have to be, if any decision has to be made, okay, if any resolution has to be passed, it will be discussed and moved. After the discussion, the meeting will end with the vote of thanks. Okay, after one particular member, it could be secretary also, they will give a vote of thanks. They're saying that thank you for attending the meeting. These are the agendas that were discussed, and everything will be given in brief. The secretary takes down the notes of the proceeding during the meeting. Okay, the secretary, if you've noticed and if you've looked into the topic very carefully, what are the duties of the secretary, you will be able to understand this also very effectively. The secretary will take down all the proceedings of the meeting. Now, after the meeting, the secretary prepares the minutes of the meeting which are taken by him and will get it approved by the board in the next meeting, and will also submit to the registrar to implement the decisions arrived at the meeting. Okay, now whatever discussions have been done and whatever decisions have been taken, you need to implement those particular decisions in the working of the particular company. So these were the topics relating to the statutory meeting. Now let's move into the next topic, that is annual general meeting. Now annual general meeting is, as you all know, the meaning the Companies Act lays down for every company, that it is a private company or a public company, they should hold an annual general meeting every year. Okay, and they should be able to get the shareholders, they should be able to clarify the shareholders and submit their annual reports. Okay, they should be able to know who is the directors of the company, and they should be able to carry out the meeting effectively. Okay, in the annual general meeting, the provisions of the Companies Act as per the annual general meeting are as follows. So as you all know, the annual general meeting is conducted once in 6 months before the commencement of the particular business. The statutory meeting is something which is compulsory, but look at the annual general meeting. Okay, the first annual general meeting must be held within 18 months from the date of incorporation of the company. Okay, if it is so held, it is not necessary for the company to hold an annual general meeting. So if you are holding an annual general meeting, then it is not necessary. If you are holding a particular meeting, then it is not necessary for the to hold an annual general meeting for the time of incorporation. Okay, now this was regarding the first annual general meeting. The subsequent annual general meeting should be held each year and not more than 15 months. Okay, now suppose one meeting is conducted, not more than 15 months. Okay, it should be given proper timing and duration. Within 6 months of the particular closing financial year, the meeting must be conducted. Okay, the notice for the meeting must clearly specify that the meeting is annual general meeting. Okay, which meeting it is, whether it is statutory meeting, whether it is annual general meeting. So it should be specified clearly, the date, time, place, and the meeting. Okay, everything should be told, and at least 21 days before the meeting is being kept, the members should be informed about this particular meeting. Next, the meeting should be held within the business hours only at the registered office of the company, or at a place which is within the city, town, or village, wherever. Suppose the registered office is located in Bangalore, the meeting should be conducted within Bangalore only. Okay, and they should be conducted in a particular place at a particular period of time. Okay, at suppose 12 p.m. the meeting will be conducted at 12 p.m. and this notice should be given to the members also. The notice for the meeting must be accompanied by a copy of audited balance sheet, okay, and profit and loss account for the previous years. Now, why are you taking into consideration profit and loss and balance sheet? Is because you want to tell the shareholders that this is the balance sheet of the company and this is how the company is making profits, and what are the losses that are there. Okay, who are your creditors, from whom you've taken loans, and all of that. Everything detailed information must be given to the shareholders. Now, if the company cannot hold the annual general meeting, Not the first annual general meeting. For any special reason, the registrar may extend the time for holding meeting up to 3 months. If because of any reasons or any emergency, if the company is not able to hold a particular meeting, then the registrar will give them the time to conduct the particular meeting. That is 3 months of time to conduct the meeting. Now, consequences of default. What is the default? What is the consequences of possibly not conducting a meeting? Okay. Suppose if the company is not holding the annual general meeting in according to the Companies Act or in accordance with any information which is given by the central government, then the company will have to call a meeting. Even if that then the company is failing to hold a particular meeting, then the company will be punishable with fine of rupees 5,000 during the case of winding up of the company, or 250 per day. Suppose even if you are given 3 months of time, in that 3 months of time also you are not paying the if you are not conducting the particular meeting, per day you will have to pay 250 rupees of fine. Okay, it will be default, and overall it will be 5,000 worth rupees of fine that will be paid if the meeting is not conducted and if you are not following the rules and regulations laid down by the government and as per the Companies Act. Okay. Now, business transacted at the meeting. The annual general meeting generally transact ordinary business because the meeting is called as an ordinary meeting. Okay. If the meeting is transacting business on ordinary business, because the meeting is called as an ordinary. Because of this, the annual general meeting is also called as the ordinary meeting. Now, ordinary meeting, what are based on the ordinary businesses. What are the ordinary businesses that are carried out in a meeting is nothing but that is your appointing director in place of those who are retiring. Suppose if one director is retiring, you will be appointing another director in his place. Then then you will be taking approval of director's report, approval of annual accounts and auditors report, appointment of auditors and fixing their remuneration and declaration of dividend. All of these will be taken care in the ordinary business. Next is special business. Now, what is this special business? This is a very important topic. What are the business which are transacted in the meeting? You will say it is ordinary business and you will say it is special business. Under ordinary business, these are the points, and under special business, you will say any business transacted at the annual general meeting other than the items which are mentioned here will be deemed to be as special business. If these informations are mentioned, then it will be ordinary business. If anything apart from all of these points will be mentioned, then it is a special business. Okay, now we will be continuing your next topic in your next class. Thank you, girls.